and welcome to SMNI. You're watching Business and Politics. I'm your host, Dante Klinkang. Our discussion tonight can touch on many things because our guest, as they say, wears many hats. He's ROMMEL JUAN, whom we invited as chairman of the Electric Vehicle Association of the Philippines, or EVAP. The onset of climate change, rising fuel prices, and the government policies to promote green mobility make electric and hybrid vehicles an interesting topic. My plan tonight is to devote much of our attention on that. Besides electric vehicles, Mr. Juan also is CEO of the Philippine Utility Vehicle Incorporated, and he is a senior executive of a number of local auto manufacturing ventures owned by his family. He also struck out on his own, investing in the food industry and growing that business through franchising. This is where our paths crossed years ago when I met Mr. Juan as the founder and owner of Binalot Fiesta Foods Incorporated. Later on, he also founded Creative Valley Learner Center Incorporated. Given all that, our discussion will likely also cover the outlook for the automobile industry, opportunities in franchising, even leadership and entrepreneurship. Hopefully, as I said earlier, we can cover those, but given the surge of interest in reducing emissions and creating new opportunities in environmentally friendly industries, we will begin with what role can the Philippines play in the development of electric vehicles, and what does that mean to the domestic economy? ROMMEL? Mr. ROMMEL JUAN, good to see you after so many years, and welcome to Business and Politics.
Thank you, Klink, for inviting me. And it's been a long time. We've known each other for so long.
Yeah. I feel that we can devote the entire episode on just catching up, but I think what people are interested in hearing from us or from this discussion is the work that you're doing in EVAP.
Yeah.
There's a lot of interest now from the government. There's a lot of electric or hybrid cars on Philippine roads. But how do you see the market from your organization's perspective? Are you optimistic? And then what does the future look like to you?
We're very, very optimistic.
Okay.
You know, Klink, I'm sure you know, we started our advocacy in 2007.
I remember, yeah.
So 2007, so how many years? Almost.
You'll date us.
Anyway, it's
no, but I remember. You said you had some early models, but your problems back then, if I recall, was getting a license plate from LTO because they didn't have a definition for an electric engine.
The problem before was how to get a license plate for an electric vehicle.
Yeah.
We were producing electric jeepneys, and LTO was saying you should have emissions test.
Yeah.
Wala namang emission ng electric. No? So anyway, we overcame that and everything. We formed the Electric Vehicle Association in 2009.
Yeah.
And you know, at that time, we were really like shouting in the darkness.
Yeah.
And people had no idea, you know, about electric vehicles at that time. Tesla was very, very new.
Sure.
You know, because I kept sending press releases to you, diba? Almost every week.
Yeah.
And of course, you helped me out naman, ano? And I remember our very first exhibit, yung very first summit namin ng Electric Vehicle Association of the Philippines. We had it in the basketball court of Meralco.
Wow.
Yung ganyan. So, it was free.
Really
you know,
humble beginnings.
Kung kailan walang laro sila, dun kami nagsishow, no? So, it has grown, no? It has grown. And we're very, very optimistic. As early as last year, I would still hear people saying, siguro mga 5 taon pa ang Pilipinas bago talagang ma-accept ang electric vehicles.
Yeah.
But this year, just this year, the story's totally changed.
Wow.
What you hear people saying now in the industry is, electric vehicles are here. Okay. And they are here, you know. With BYD, with Hyundai, with Nissan, with all these brands, Kia, even Jaguar. They all have electric vehicle models. Audi has electric vehicle. Lotus has an electric vehicle model already. Nandiyan na, no? Yeah. And actually, it's nice to know when I talk to these members who are distributors of all these brands who sell electric vehicles. They have backlogs already now. Wow. So, people are all... May mga tumatawag na sa akin, ROMMEL, tulungan mo naman ako para doon. O gusto ko umorder, ganyan. Oh, sure. Yeah. Sabi ko, pakilala kita. Kasi minsan, dapat alam mo lang kung saang dealership may stock. Diba? Things like that. But you know, as early as siguro 2017, Nissan brought us to Nissan Futures event in Singapore. And there was a study by Frost and Sullivan.
Okay.
They did a survey among Filipinos. And you know, among the ASEAN countries that they surveyed, the highest willingness to adopt is in the Philippines.
Really?
So, ibig sabihin, a lot of people really want to go green, to go electric.
Okay.
Kaya lang at the time, wala lang talaga.
Right.
It wasn't available. But now, with the efforts of the association, and of course the government also because of the EVIDA law, ngayon hindi lang yung mga car companies ang active na nagpo-promote. It's the charging stations as well.
Right.
No, there are a lot of charging station players who have set up shop in the Philippines now. So questions like, paano yan? I live in a condominium. Paano ako mag-charging? Meron ng solution for that. No?
Interesting.
Paano yung bahay ko? Pwede ba kabitan ng charging station? Meron ng solution dyan. I'm going to travel to Baguio or something, or Bicol, or Tugigaraw.
With the range, ano?
Yeah, with the range. Paano na yung range anxiety? Meron ng solution dyan. So a lot of things have happened. No? And it's not just in the Philippines, it's really worldwide.
Right.
And actually, ang sinasabi ko nga, hindi na ako kinakabahan. Kasi it's only a matter of time. You know? People, once you've driven an electric vehicle, you will not go back. Especially in the Philippines.
I drive a hybrid. And
well, so you're on your way.
I want to go full electric.
Kami kasi, when we started EVAP, ang aming talagang tagline was plug in and drive.
Right.
So with EVAP, what we're really promoting are the plug-ins. No?
Right.
So, kasi we believe that for you to have the option to go with the cleaner energy, plug-ins are the way. Kasi, meron kang option eh. Alam ba, pakabit ka ng solar panel sa bahay mo.
Right.
Eh di off the grid ka na. Kasi always palaging merong argument na, hindi, galing din naman sa bunker fuel yan kasi sasaksak mo rin yan. Ganyan. Pero may choice ka eh. Diba? May choice ka. Pakabit ka ng wind turbine, pakabit ka ng solar panel sa bahay mo. Clean ka na, diba? So those are the things now, and a lot more things are happening right now.
It's very exciting indeed. And you were saying earlier before the program when we were trying to catch up that you've been traveling around the region, and I just came back also from the ASEAN Business and Investment Summit in Jakarta. They're talking precisely what we're talking about now, EVs, but more importantly, collaboration. And you're in the thick of that. Can you talk about what EVAP is doing, maybe trying to organize Southeast Asia?
In 2017, we had our EV summit at the SMX. And then we made it the first ever ASEAN Electric Vehicle Summit.
Okay.
And we invited other countries. We invited Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia. Maraming dumating. And at about the same time, Thailand put up their own association, the EVAT, Electric Vehicle Association of Thailand. So we kinda pushed na rin Malaysia to organize. So there's EVAM now. Singapore has EVAS now. And then with all these associations already in place, we formed the federation. No? So the federation is called AFIVA. ASEAN Federation of Electric Vehicle Associations. So madami kaming meeting every month. There's a meeting. Of course, ang very active dyan is our president right now. Because I'm the chairman now. Our president in EVAP is Edmond Araga. And they have meetings with the other presidents. Sometimes I chime in also. And what they do is best practices. They compare best practices, ganyan. And of course, we support each other in each other's events. No? So just last week, we were in Bangkok. For the IEV Tech, that's the electric vehicle show naman in Thailand, where we joined the EVAT president there. We've been going around, no? We've been campaigning. No? We went to Vietnam 2 weeks ago, and we met with the VinFast group. We're trying to urge them to come up with an association also, but it's not that simple in Vietnam. In Vietnam,
it's state-owned.
It's state-owned. So what they need, I think the government requires them to have like 100 members, things like that. So medyo complicated. Actually, tomorrow I'll be leaving for Laos, no? So Laos naman kami. And then we'll talk to some EV players there also. And all of this is in preparation for our big event, our biggest annual event in EVAP, which is the EV Summit.
I see.
It's going to be our 11th EV Summit this coming October 19 to 21. It's going to be the biggest. 3 halls na kami sa SMX.
Wow.
Dati, nanghihiram lang tayo ng gym sa Meralco. So ngayon, 3 halls na tayo sa SMX and it's almost full. No?
Wow.
All the major EV players will be there.
Wow.
It's co-presented by Nissan. No? So, and also a lot of Hyundai will be there, Mitsubishi will be there. The big boys are there. No? The BYD and Kia will be there. Photon, of course, AutoKid. Maraming mga EV players ngayon na bago.
Fantastic.
And they'll be showcasing their newest products. And then there will be a conference. In the conferences naman, there are learning opportunities, sharing. There will be talks. So it's gonna be very, very exciting. At saka, charging stations pala, ang dami. Solarius is there, Pesin is there, yung mga wallbox, ang daming mga charging stations. So parang, all the answers to your questions about electric vehicles will be at that show.
Well, now, in the ASEAN summit that I attended, there was a lot of talk about complementarity among ASEAN, that maybe all of the difficulties experienced in the past, because they were saying that, you know, trade with ASEAN and China grew something like 3 or 4-fold. It also grew with the US, but among the ASEAN members, it's been stagnant. But the EV opportunity may be the time to realize this collaboration, complementarity. Do you see? I think that's what, you know, is that what you are working to?
Yes.
Is that the vision? And where are we at now? I mean, in making that reality now.
Well, definitely that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to work closely with our ASEAN brothers. And somehow, how we can work together and not compete. Kasi parang ang nangyayari sa atin, palaging competing tayo. No?
Kasi hindi pwede lahat VinFast. No?
Hindi pwede. Hindi pwede. There's a good yung something that the president of Indonesia started, na initiative, and he declared that he wants to make the ASEAN the EV hub, an EV hub, which is possible
for the world.
For the world, for the world. Why? Because we have all the nickel.
We have the raw materials
for batteries. No? Number 1 is Thailand, Indonesia. They have the biggest.
Second, Philippines.
Second is the Philippines. Pero biglang ang ginawa ng Indonesia ngayon is parang surprise move. They stopped exporting their nickel. No? So sabi nila ngayon sa mga investors, if you want our nickel, you produce. You put value added in our country, which is a great idea. You know, something that the Philippines might want to take a look at. You know, maybe not fully, pero maybe partially. Pero kailangan talaga magkaroon tayo ng local battery manufacturing dito sa bansa natin if we want to have a role in electric vehicle manufacturing. Another opportunity for the Philippines is if we can produce kahit yung pang public transport lang.
Sure.
One niche that we have is, of course, if we incorporate it with the PUV modernization. Kasi there's a huge demand for the PUV modernization. They're saying about 300,000 new modern PUVs are needed to replace our ailing fleet of jeepneys. No? Sipin mo, if even just just a certain percent of this will be electric, and then locally produced lahat. Diba?
So the number of jobs that
it will create.
Wow.
I'm actually a member of ABMAP, yung Auto Body Manufacturer Association of the Philippines. And together we employ about 3,000 people.
Wow.
So just imagine the number of jobs that it creates, no?
Wow.
And the potential of that. And that segment of in the yung yung truck segment na yon, which is the 6 to 7 meter chassis of a truck,
Yeah.
yun yung ginagamit sa jeepney, no? Sipin mo, if we can give incentives to that platform,
Yeah.
no? The same way that Thailand gave incentives to their pickup.
Yeah.
Yung pickup ang binigyan ng incentives ng Thailand. Kaya pagpunta ka sa Thailand, dami-daming pickup, di ba?
Yeah.
At saka yun yung naging Detroit of Asia.
Right.
Tayo, I think the DTI has this idea. Si Director Manlapig ng DTI, BOI. Ang idea niya rin is bakit hindi natin gawing ito yung special purpose vehicles na yan ang gawing incentivize natin.
Yeah.
Kasi the chassis, pwedeng jeepney, pwedeng ambulance, pwedeng fire truck,
Yeah.
ang daming pwedeng gawin, di ba? What if it's incentivized in this country, we produce all of that and we export, di ba? Then maybe maging competitive tayo uli in the Philippines for our automotive industry, no? But yun, going back, maybe medyo napalayo, ano? But going back to what we can do for the EV industry, well, ang dami, no? Ionics is our member in EVAP. They can make their own charging stations.
Wow.
No? So, ang dami. Magaling naman tayo sa electronics, eh,
Sure.
di ba? So, yung mga ganon, no? Madami pa tayong pwedeng ma-develop na industries with the EV industry.
Yeah, I'd like to pick it up there later, but after our quick break, you're watching Business and Politics. I'm talking to Mr. Rommel Juan of EVA.